Well, that's not what I wanted. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Never Ending Project. Today we're finally going to get started on a list of things. I've actually materialized a list of all the things I can think of right now. None of this is in any particular order. It'll probably change, or at least I'll be adding some more things as I think of them. But otherwise, as of right now, that's kind of what I have in mind. Now, out of all of those things, not all of them are dire, so to speak. So I'll kind of be going through the list and, nitpicking which ones I for sure want to get done over the winter. Some things for sure. So when I spliced in my ignition coils, I literally spliced them in the way that I received them. So I didn't cut any of them to length. So I have a giant bundle of wires here because very clearly, some are closer than others. So I want to really clean that up, but I think I mentioned it in the other video. I'll be doing coolant lines. I'll be reworking these. I have new injector boots. And a laundry list of other things, as you clearly just saw. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning this mess of mine. I pretty much spent my time doing that real quick. I'm going to do that, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Actually, I also got these. So in the box, I have wheel skates. That'll hopefully help me move the TT around. I very clearly don't have a whole lot of room in here, so it'll be really nice to be able to move the TT side to side, forwards, backwards. That way I can also get some work done on this side. Since I've got body work to do there, I'd like to do that over the winter too. And then on top of that, actually quite literally, so I work with servers and enterprise equipment, and we were actually about to recycle these, or somebody was about to recycle these, and I saw them, and I'm like, hey, these look like really nice brackets that I could use for my front splitter, which would be pretty sweet. It all kind of works out. But yeah, like I said, let me finish cleaning up, and then we'll, get going. All right, so now that everything's cleaned up, I already kind of started unboxing this. I'll post a link in the description, which ones I bought. There were quite a few of them that I looked at that a lot of people had crappy things to say about. Essentially, with the weight of an actual car, it was pretty much useless. You couldn't move them back and forth. But according to these, which, here, I'm gonna set you guys down. Anyway, according to the reviews for these ones in particular, a lot of people actually had very good things to say about them, and nobody had any of those issues. These are actually quite beefy. All right. So yeah, let me go ahead and put these together real quick, and I will talk to you guys here in a second. Man, I'm actually pretty happy with these. Obviously putting these together is pretty self-explanatory. 4 casters each, you got a nut and you got a crush washer here. And I don't know, it seems really sturdy. Casters seem to be really high quality. Same with the wheels, they're not super squishy or anything, so I don't know that they'll go over anything, obviously, if the car's on top, but these actually might roll pretty good. So, yeah, let's put the TT on top of them and see how they work. Alright, so one thing I noticed already that I don't really like is yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. It doesn't, it looks like it's gouging in there more than it really is. But yeah, anyway, I'm running 255s on these, so these are 255 millimeter wide. So if you have anything less, it won't have much of that problem, but if you're running an 18 or higher, or a 255 or wider, and that'll be something to kind of consider. Anyway, I'm gonna continue putting the rest of them on, and let's find out how they roll. Well, you guys, I'm actually thoroughly impressed by that. That was very effortless. Each one of these skates is rated to about 1,500 pounds. Well, not about, they're rated to 1,500 pounds each, so a total of 6,000 pounds all around. The TT's half of that, about. It's like 3,200 pounds. But yeah, check this out. I actually had to stop the TT from moving. This is just with one hand. So, moved it quite a bit. Like, I can just lean up against it and yeah, just gonna keep on sliding. We should probably move this back a little bit. Yeah, look at that. All right, well, that's gonna make this much easier. And a big bonus is that now I actually have a decent amount of room underneath here. So that's a thing. Nice. All right, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, all right. So I'm gonna move the TT back into position a little bit. I screwed it quite a bit. Yeah, so let me do that real quick and we'll get started with the next thing. All right, so I'm not quite sure what my plan of execution is right now, but what we have to do is, I'm obviously going to have to take this off, and then, I don't know, I guess I'll just kind of have to eyeball it. Essentially, I just don't want to cut them too short, but I do want to cut them to length, so then, you know, I don't have globs of wire just kind of hanging out around here. So yeah, let's go ahead and unbolt this and see what we got. Alright, so we can move this out of the way. And I saw something that I didn't really like. I don't know how well this is going to work here. This one looks like it kind of slid out a little bit, and I don't like that at all. Doesn't help that it's like under like 30 degrees right now. So everything's kind of tight and super cold and everything. I'm trying to pull the boot as far back as I can. It's not really coming all that far back. Let me see if I can grab some pliers and pull this back a little bit further without ruining it. Nope, that's not the one I need. That's the one I need. Well, that's not what I wanted. Boy, those are on there really good. It's actually really annoying. There we go. So let's recrimp this guy on there. I don't know how well this is going to work now. Open it up a little bit. It's not exactly what I intended to do right now, but there we go. See if we can get a decent crimp on this. Not exactly how I wanted it, but it'll do. Right, cool. Now let's pull this back out. Oh, those are real tight. All right, now we got that mess out of the way. I'll show you guys here this mess of wires I have. I don't remember where I started this. I'm really gonna need to take this off. Oh, there we go. I also need to find out what size this is because I do not remember. Ooh. Yeah, it's been sitting for a while. This is what happens when you get all that moisture. That's a lot of buildup. Yeah, we're all right. So oil's fine. It's just my my catch can. But again, the car's been sitting there with a lot of moisture for a while. It's been, break this loose. Yeah, okay, we're good. Let's double check in there. Yeah, it looks really nice and clean in there. Okay. Whew, it's a little scary. It's a lot of water in there. All right, but anyway, back to what we're here for. Hey, there we go. I think, yeah. Kind of. No, yes, I don't know what this crap is. But it's all coming off. All right, yeah, look at this mess. So let's go ahead and undo these. Let's just undo it all. So this one can get shortened considerably. All right, so look how much wire we have here. So these are all my common grounds right here. VW uses, yeah, I didn't quite understand how they did this, but they've got this giant ground wire, and it all kind of joins here, and then we split up right here to go to each individual coil. Now what I ended up doing, this where all the splicing happened, everything on this side is the factory wiring harness. I figured I'd keep it since it's already kind of done for me. So let's go take a look at this first one. Yeah, look at that giant glob. Let's go ahead and start stripping here. All right, I prefer to use these ones. These are a little nicer. These ones seem to be a little more clunky. Let's go ahead and start with number 1 here. I'm gonna cut it right at the base there. So I wanna make sure that I crimp out. Now, if you guys have never stripped wires before, you're going to have, so these numbers here, you call those gauges. The gauges is really just the thickness of the wire, and you can kind of play around with it. See where you're kind of sitting. Another point of this is, of wire strippers, which makes things very, very, very easy. It's supposed to strip, but this side's sticking. Yeah, look at that. It is so cold out right now that this isn't pulling down as fast as I am. So I'm going to have to play with this here for a second. I don't want to risk pulling any wires out as I'm stripping them. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I still got a little bit of solder on there. And give that a nice little twist. So what we'll want to do, we'll cut the wire here. So we're going to go ahead and twist here. I'm going to cross them right around the middle here. We're going to twist them on each other here. That way, and we're going to have to heat this wire hot enough to start feeding some solder through. And generally the best way to tell once it starts heating is the edges of the sheath, the wire insulator. Those will start bunching up and curling up a bit. There we go, now our wire's getting nice and warm. All right, so there's our first solder job. Burnt the sheath a little bit, but that's okay. That'll be strong enough to hold it together, and I'm happy with that. Actually, I'm gonna fast forward through this. You guys pretty much get the gist of what I'm gonna do. And again, like I said, I'm just gonna clean this up so I don't have primarily this giant bundle. So if anything, I'll probably end up just redoing the grounds. The rest of these look pretty all right. So I'll redo the grounds here, shorten them up, and then yeah, I'll show you guys what it ends up looking like afterwards. Quick little update. I changed. Actually, it's been a couple days. Haven't made crazy headway primarily... Oh, and I put new batteries in my light. That's how bright it's supposed to be. Helps a little bit. Anyway, it's been absolutely brutal outside. Yesterday it got down into the 10s. Today it's actually 17 degrees. I looked at the forecast. It's not going to get any warmer, so I figured I just kind of have to suck it up and do it. It's a little tough to solder with freezing cold hands, even though I am wearing, rubber gloves, but anything thicker and then it just becomes too hard to handle the wires. But anyway, just to kind of show you guys real quick where I'm at. So I might end up looking at these smaller ones, just because I ended up seeing that one was really, really brittle, this one in particular. It's a little beefed up now. And, I did a few other grounds here. I have 2 more to go, and then, and then we should be done with that. I'm trying to kind of speed up the boring process. Hopefully this will be it. This will be the last time I mess with them, and then we can move on to more exciting stuff. I'm gonna get going. I'll fill you guys in probably closer to when I get it all done, just so you don't have to go through that process. But yeah, see you in a minute. It's looking pretty good now. Everything's pretty much cut to length. I just have to finish wrapping it. And then all we have left to do is, you can very clearly see that these boots have seen much better days. I do have these new rubber ones that I bought. They're not labeled or anything, so I'll just have to mark 1, 1, and 2, so then I know which pins are signal and ground, so I don't get that mixed up. Alright, that's 3 down. There's 1 more to go. This is actually pretty exciting. Oh, well, I'm so glad to have these done. This has been something on my to-do list for a very long time. Pretty much when I put the car together, I didn't really worry too much about the aesthetics of it. I just wanted a running car. So it's been a long time coming. We've knocked out 2 things out of our list. We got plenty more to go. Like I was saying earlier, I think the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm probably going to try to work on the turbo. We got to get these lines all figured out. And we'll talk about them later, but they could really use some reworking. And I know I've mentioned it before too, so I'm not going to go a little overkill on that. But yeah, as always, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you guys.